Hey, good looking, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm just going to sit here and chat with you guys about why I don't want you to spend any money at the Sephora VIB sale. Currently, I'm seeing it just scroll down my news feed, my homepage, my subscription boxes, also inundated with Sephora VIB recommendation sales. And I just... I'm not mad at the process. I'm not mad at any one particular person, so I'm not calling out any content creators, nothing of that sort whatsoever. I am simply here to express my side of the situation as I see it, from a perspective of somebody who is on a no-buy, somebody who is using what they've got. I want to sit here and I want to chat with you on why you're being triggered, what kind of recommendations are being pushed right now, and why those are not just random recommendations that are being pushed. They are strategic and they are marketed that way, and they're designed to capture you in and get you to spend money that A, you may not have, or B, you didn't really want to spend. So stick around if that sounds like something interesting to you. Hi, I'm Kendra Morgan Official, and I generally put out content around makeup brushes, single eyeshadows with a side of palettes, and some sunscreens. So if you like that kind of content and beauty related content as well, please subscribe to my channel down below. I just want to go over Sephora VIB recommendations and why you don't need them. This is like a spin-off of like anti-hauling. This is a spin-off of Hannah Louise Poston's why you don't need to buy it. And I can sit here and say, well, it's only 20% that you'd be saving, or 10%, and that's basically covering your tax. But you already know that. I want to take it one step further, and I want to talk about an experience that I had when purchasing, my thoughts and emotions behind those, and what has helped me to stop buying compulsively. So it was the January, BH Cosmetics, right before they filed Chapter 13, they had a steep sale that they had started right around Black Friday with savings of up to like 70-80%. You could get the avocado toast, you could get blueberry muffin, you could get all these really cute travel palettes that were 16 pan palettes, and they were like between $6 and $8, I would say. I filled up a cart with 5 or 6 palettes. I know I want avocado toast and blueberry muffin, which I think I will probably put out a brand exclusive duping the vibes of the avocado toast and blueberry muffin all in one big Sydney Grace empty palette, and just kind of curate a palette that I think I would like to use, and then maybe kind of satisfy that urge to want to buy and purchase those 2 palettes. Because if you really look at my my eyeshadow habits, I don't really use a lot of blue, so why I'm interested in that, I don't know. But avocado toast, you could probably see, like, I like the grungy greens and the olive tones, but I don't use them that often, so why am I wanting to go out and spend, just on this particular palette? So anyways, back to my story. I filled up a cart and I put in Hangin' with Hawaii. I'll go ahead and put it up here. Blueberry muffin, avocado toast, Smitten in Switzerland, I think was out of stock. I went ahead and put the one with Tokyo and Paris. I also added the Lost in Los Angeles because I know I don't own a lot of pastels, so I knew that would fill some gaps. Plus, it's also been highly suggested if you like the Natasha Denona Pastels palette, which I'm going to go ahead and link that video for you in the eye. I can kind of go over why I don't think that that's a very good palette to own. Unless you're a single shadow lover like myself. So I filled up this palette, and then I also put in a brush set that I wanted to review, and then a couple of single brushes that I thought would be helpful for my collection to fill in some gaps. And then I started taking my mind through the process and just running my head through, okay, what happens next? So then the order gets delivered, it gets shipped, and it's likely to come on a day when life is really busy, things are hectic, so you don't have time to open that box of makeup right then and there. You're going to have, life to deal with, right? Then it's likely that I will open the package of makeup perhaps after I get the children in bed, maybe sometime between 8 and 9:30 at night, which for some of you that seems like, well, that's really early, or that's really, not a late period of time. I still function at 8 o'clock. But for me, that's a time where I'm starting to wind down. I'm starting to like do my self-care when I should be doing my self-care, right? I would be opening up this package and I would feel obligated to open up this package, right? Because I purchased, $55, $60 worth of makeup. Then I would be obligated to open each and every single one of these palettes that I bought to ensure A, that nothing is broken, and B, to immediately start swatching because I feel like this is what I need to do. And I need to start formulating what content I'd like to create around these palettes, because of course you can't just own a palette just to own a palette. You need to create content. You need to involve your community, because now you own this and your community is involved. You're taking your subscribers with you. That's how I feel anyways. Nobody's making me feel this way, by the way. It's just me. So then I would open up, let's say I bought 6 palettes. Okay, 6 palettes. Yeah, 6 times 8 is about $48 with tax and shipping. That would be around $55. So I'd open up all 6 of these palettes, and then I would immediately feel anxiety around, okay, I've got all this opened up. Maybe there's some packaging, excess packaging that was wrapped, to keep the palette secure and, within transit. Now I've got that to deal with. Well, I'm too tired. And then I've spent an hour and a half swatching, not to mention that, I've got covered in swatches now, right? And then furthermore, I must organize these palettes. I need a place to put them. I'm already pretty much at max capacity for my palettes in my container. So, I didn't stop and think about that. How could you not do that, Kendra? And now it's really late. It's like 10 o'clock and I haven't even started my self-care. Stuff that I should be doing, right? And then of course you've got a box you have to break down and recycle, and then you've got to determine whether or not the packaging pillows, can they be recycled or not, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you're getting the vibe that anxiety has built up. I feel this sense of losing control. Now I'm sacrificing, part of my work day into my self-care. So now I'm placing work or YouTube or content higher than my level of self-care, which should never happen, especially if you're a content creator like myself. We need to prioritize self-care, because if we are not taking care of ourselves, we have no business taking care of any of you, right? And so on and so forth. And then the next day I wake up, I'm tired, and now I have to get the children up, get them ready for school, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's a look into if I would have purchased the palettes. All right, and then on top of that, the money spent, and we didn't really have the extra money to spend on something like that, right? Because we still have to buy groceries, we still have to pay, the mortgage, we still have all of the bills to pay, right? You get the sense that there's anxiety around actually purchasing makeup, and that's where I was getting. Okay, but I would continue to purchase anyways, and I would continue to try and prove to myself I can manage all of this. As a single shadow lover, and if any of you guys, and many of you guys have expressed already that you own quite a few single eyeshadows, it's very difficult to manage those single eyeshadows. But once managed, they're extremely powerful workhorses. Utilitarian shades get to be used in maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 palettes, right? I've just taken basically an entire set of utilitarian shadows and duped out a $52 palette. And if you guys want to see that, I'm going to go ahead and link that in the cards for you. You can go check out that. That's the Too Faced Sunset Stripped palette. It's brand exclusive. Okay, but all these utilitarian shades are workhorses, and they're being duped over, comped over 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So now they've basically paid for themselves as long as you haven't purchased the palettes. But you're spending this money, you're organizing, and then like you will find out very quickly you run out of space. Things aren't tidy the way you want them to be. Now you have to buy drawers. Now you have to buy stuff to store them in or manage them in some way, shape, or form. So the anxiety is just going to build and build and build. That's where I was coming from. That's where I was really trending, and that's where Nothing New 22 really the meat and potatoes of it came from. Is I don't want to do that anymore. I want to use what I have, and I want to feel like I'm enough. So back to the Sephora VIB. You're getting 20% off. So let's go ahead and live this out, right? I go to the website. I've been eyeing this Natasha Denona Bronze palette, and I've been eyeing the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and although those have quite a few utilitarian shades and they're quite a bit my taste, the first palette that appears on my Sephora page on my app, okay, which believe me, I've opened up several times, is not that. It's not even a Tom Ford quad. It's not a Dior quint. It's not a Chanel highlighter. It's not any of those. It's not anything neutral. It's the Natasha Denona Pastels palette. Now, what I can deduce from that is the fact that this is most definitely a marketing tactic to push product that you don't even aspire to own onto you. What do we know about purchasing makeup in a timely manner? Is this: when you don't have enough time to sit down and reason and provide logic to yourself on purchasing an item, you will A, likely overspend, and B, you will buy stuff you don't need. Why? Because you're not using the prefrontal cortex to make those decisions. You're using the reptilian brain. This is not by coincidence. This is by default. Brands like Sephora, brands like Ulta do this to us, and they do it to us because they know how the human brain works. They've studied it. There are people that work for this brand that particularly do this, and they build your front page to show you products that, okay, I know I'm going to add glam. I know I'm going to add, so let's say it's a 22-hour sale, much like Look Fantastic just texted me, and you've only got 22 hours, and every hour your percentage goes down 1%. Now you have 1 hour to shop. What do you think I'm likely to buy? I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in the Natasha Denona Glam. I'm going to go in and put the Natasha Denona Bronze palette, but that's $130. I've still got, I just saved 22% because I'm done basically, and I finished the test before the time was up. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to go back through and I'm going to start looking. Oh, there's a foundation I've always wanted to try. I'm going to add that to my cart. Oh, and this popped up on my front page, and that's, I don't remember what Look Fantastic's website looks like, but let's just pretend it's a lot like Sephora's. I'm going to add Natasha Denona Pastel. Why? Because I already own Glam and Bronze now, because it's in my cart, and I can switch out all those shades with some really cute pops of colors. So yeah, let's do that. And that's on my front page. Boom, I can just add that sucker to cart. That is how businesses get you to buy. That's how they want you to buy. They want you to buy using this reptilian part of your brain, which is, I don't remember what it's called even, but it's not the prefrontal cortex, right? The prefrontal cortex takes its time. It provides logic. It provides the reasoning. Like, you would never use any pastels, Kendra, because you own some pastels right now in some of your collections, like Makeup Geeks. They put out a line of pastels. So when I purchased my makeup, my Matrix palettes, they came out with it. I own some pastels in my Coastal Scents that I've never even touched. And I own some in Divina, which are shimmers, but yet again, they are pastels in a way, and they're duochromes, much like what would be found in the Natasha Denona pastel. And I'm not trying to come for Natasha Denona or this palette. It's just the first thing that came to mind when I actually opened up the app. The next thing that they're going to do is they're going to try to get you to purchase a high-priced item that you may like, but wouldn't normally trend towards. And that's where the sale, the 20% off comes into play. Oh, I can get that Chanel or that Dior foundation because I get it for 20% off, which is much more than Dior's website could ever offer me. So now I'm going to add that. Again, losing control of the rationale. Going back to the story of the BH Cosmetics, I envisioned myself purchasing. I envisioned what would happen. I envisioned the feelings and emotions associated with completing the transaction. That helped me to refrain from buying. So here's something I want to offer you guys, let's say 3 tips when purchasing. Okay, and maybe you don't need to go on a no buy. Maybe you're fine. You're in a season of purchasing. That's amazing. That's awesome. But I want to challenge you to envision yourself ordering this makeup and what exactly you're going to do. Because now you've got boxes to deal with. Now you've got packaging to deal with. Now you've got the products packaging that it came in to deal with. Because don't act like you went out and bought the Natasha Denona 28 pan palettes and don't still have the outside packaging. I know I can't be the only one that owns it and going, what should I do with it? Should I throw it away or should I keep it? Oh, that was kind of an expensive palette. I feel like maybe I should own it just in case I sell those palettes instead of keeping them. I want you to envision what you're going to do with all of that and how you're going to manage it. And likely that'll already stir up some anxiety. Number 2, I want you to envision what you could have purchased with the money that you are spending on the makeup. So let's say you spend $150. That's a cell phone payment for some people. That's a week's worth of groceries for some individuals, okay? And you know, some of you guys are laughing, $150, I wish. For some people it is. Some people live that way, you know, some people don't. Anyways, that's not the point. You can fill in the gap however you need to, right? $150, or maybe $150 is a great evening out with your significant other or your children at a nice restaurant where there's maybe some entertainment. There's some arcade games that the kids could go and play while you guys, you know, eat pizza that tastes disgusting. It's whatever, right? But the $150, I want you to envision it going somewhere else. And is that more important or less important than the object you're going to be owning? Okay? And thirdly, I want you to just for a moment envision, wait a minute, ask yourself some questions. Why did, when I clicked on this link, after they sent me this, hey, you're getting 50% off, up to 50% off, why I clicked on this link and I'm getting this, you know, this page? Because I guarantee you my page doesn't look like yours. My page is entirely designed by an algorithm that is tailored for me to purchase from. They're not likely, so if I've never purchased from Sephora before, I'm likely to get some very high dollar items like Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford, Chanel, Dior. Why? Because they don't have to ship very many products to get a huge sum of money. And you're only saving 20%, but likely if I've never ordered before, that might be what they're trying to push. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's kind of how I see it. And same way with like Look Fantastic. They're going to give you some high dollar items that are going to show up on your page because they want you to bite. And again, they know that a person making a decision in a time bound, you know, a short time period, they're likely to overspend and they're likely to buy that higher dollar item in a shorter period of time because they're not logically thinking. Think about what the business model is trying to present to you. Do they have your best interest? Because here's the thing, if they had your best interest, everybody would open up their page and see a bunch of sunscreen, some cleansers, and some moisturizers. Why? Because those are necessities. You need sunscreen, okay? I'm telling you, you need sunscreen. You will burn or you could risk getting cancer, melanoma, so on and so forth. You need sunscreen. You need a cleanser. You need to wash your face. But that's not what comes up when you open up your page. Almost entirely guaranteed. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this helped you guys out, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next one. Remember, you don't need to participate in the Sephora VIB. Can't wait to see you guys later. Bye.